This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
So I figured it is time for us to get into a little Dolphins talk because obviously there's a little bit of frustrations out there with the Dolphin Nation. And I understand that there's some frustrations because you want them to be great. And I know that this is going to sound a little bit like a broken record, but we're still in a complete rebuild, okay? This is not a team that is complete anywhere on offense or defense. And so I know that we are at this point where we're, because of the whole Marino thing, we're dying to see the quarterback. Now, I understand that Fitz and the offense yesterday ended with too many field goals. The spirit of Sperano was in the building, and rest in peace, Tony, nice guy and all that. But, obviously, Tony was a big fan of the field goals, and we're not. And I get it that there were moments. Listen, yesterday, the rookie corner had a terrible time like he's been all season so far since he's played. He had a decent week last week, but overall, Noah has been brutal, and we are living through the growing pains of a rookie corner. And a lot of rookie corners go through this, where they've got to adjust and they've got to learn, and it's almost like a rite of passage for rookie corners. Not every corner, sometimes you'll pick a guy that's a top 5, a Woodson, and maybe he'll take off from the beginning. And if I remember correctly, did Woodson also start off a little uneven at the beginning, or am I thinking somebody else? But it could even happen to the guys that you take top 5, top 10 at times. But there are a few that come in and they start to dominate right from the beginning, and that's fine. Noah was picked at the back end of the first round. This is a kid that has got to learn this position, okay? And there were several mistakes in that game. Flo not going for the third down. He was a little too conservative there. Flo is a second-year coach. He's also not going to be perfect. And in his post-game press conference, he kind of questioned it himself to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Where in hindsight, you could say, I probably should have been better off taking a chance there and going for it, which he should have, because you're playing against Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? And you're not going to limit Russell Wilson. And let me tell you, the defense did all right against Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's numbers yesterday, what were they? 24 of 34, 360 yards, 2 touchdowns and interception. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. X got one of them. X made a mistake with DK down the field. He didn't make any more mistakes, but he allowed that one big pass down the field. Noah single-handedly screwed up left and right. The offensive line allowed Fitz's arm to get hit, and then the ball got tipped and intercepted, which then led to points. I mean, there were a lot of mistakes in that game, and I get it. You're pissed off. Look, remember, they're not in Seattle's class. Seattle's 4-0. That's a really good team, and Miami kind of fought with them for a while and hung in there for a while. They are way more competitive now than they were last year. So at the first stage is tearing down the team and then teaching them how to win. And last year, it took to week 8 to learn how to win a game. Okay? Now, you're talking about a loss to New England, a loss to Buffalo, and a loss to Seattle. Okay, do you want me to go look at what the combined records are of those teams? Because I can if you want. I'll do it in 1 second here.
Well, the two are 4-0, and the other's 2-1, so that's 10-1 right now, prior to tonight.
Okay? And again, we can sensationalize everything we want. They have played pretty close games and even had opportunities to win against three teams that are combined 10-1. So now the next step is they know how to win games because they beat Jacksonville. And I think they'll have a good chance at beating San Francisco this week. And the following week, don't they play Denver, if I'm correct? They got a chance to win those next two games and go 3-3. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you don't tear a team down to the bone and reset everything and load it up with a whole bunch of young guys, and then all of a sudden you become a Super Bowl caliber team. Because in order for you to beat New England, Seattle, and Buffalo, at this point in time, that means you have to be a Super Bowl contender. Is that what Miami is? Is that really what you think they are in week 4 of season 2 in a complete reset and rebuild? I get it. You're frustrated. I get it. So am I. They lost. It sucks to lose. But I love what I'm seeing because they didn't know how to compete. Then they finally learned how to win games in the second half of the season, and they went 5-4. They know how to compete already from day one. Now, they're playing against some of the better teams in the league at this point in time. We don't get the break that Kansas City does tonight. What do you think if Brian Hoyer plays against the Dolphins in New England? I bet you Miami beats New England's ass. I'll put anything on it that this Miami team right now beats New England tonight with Brian Hoyer. But we didn't get Brian Hoyer. We got Cam Newton. So we didn't get the break that Kansas City's going to get tonight. They're going to be able to rest their players in the second half. By the end of the half, they would have intercepted Hoyer twice already, and they're up by 15. Cruising by 24 at the end of the third. I mean, it's a joke. So let's not overreact and think that the world is coming to an end. The 3 losses are to some pretty damn good teams right now. So let's chill out, okay? And you're going to watch this team, watch the season get better, watch them get better like they did last year. And when they start to play these lesser teams, they're going to beat them. A year from now, they're ready to beat the Buffaloes. They're ready to beat the Kansas Cities. But right now, they're not. They're just not, ladies and gentlemen. Noah's still figuring things out. You ended up getting injuries, too, during the game. And then on top of all of that, you've got injuries in your secondary. If Byron Jones plays yesterday, it might have been a completely different game. Because maybe Byron Jones doesn't allow all the mistakes that Noah committed yesterday. But he wasn't playing. Their offense, it's not there yet. I get it. But if you're expecting them to be a playoff caliber team in week 4, and if you're sitting there going, no, we should be beating these teams, then, I'm sorry, I can't help you, man. You're not realistic. I want them to start winning too, but there's a process to all of this. And we live in this microwave society that we're supposed to already be a playoff team at this point. Which, come on, dude, if you think that, you're full of shit. It's ridiculous.
Are they a little bit of a victim of the 5-4 finish?
Yes.
That we figured, we're on our way to being a playoff team.
Right. Well, I mean, I never thought playoff team. I'm thinking 8-8 this year.
You said that all along.
I've never said playoff team. So they would need so many things to happen for them to be a playoff team at this point in time. And Tua maybe can help you, maybe can't. Nobody really knows. But I'm not ready to say that Fitz is really the entire problem. I just don't believe that yet. I know the whole team isn't playing well right now. They are not perfect. They are tough. They're resilient. They don't give up. They hang in there. But they're not a good team right now. And they're not supposed to be beating the better teams in the league yet. You're hoping, if I think they're 8-8, they're kind of a middling team. They're going to beat the really bad teams and probably lose to the really good teams. And once in a while, they'll beat one of those really good teams. But they're not going to be beating the good teams on a consistent basis. Like Myron's team, the San Francisco 49ers, because of all the injuries, they're not a great team right now. This is an opportunity for Miami next week. It's on the road. It won't be easy. I know there's not a crowd, but you still got to travel. Denver, another opportunity. Won't be easy. It'll be on the road, but it's a very winnable game. Let's see how they do over the next couple of weeks in games that are realistically winnable. Okay? Not the ones that you're hoping if everything goes right, you could win. That's what Seattle is. I thought they could be competitive. Sure, I think they got a shot at winning. Unfortunately, the things didn't go well, and they didn't end up winning, which is probably what was going to happen. But if you watch, they're competitive enough that they're going to beat some of these good teams. It's going to happen, but maybe it doesn't happen in the early part of the season because they need to gel and get a little better. And that's what, and listen, even the coach has got to get a little better.